I think we're good to go. I think we're ready. Hello, Manny.
Oh, Ali.
Hello. The video is still a little choppy on my end, but if there's nothing we can do about it, then we'll power through it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hello. It's been
Um,
like a
it
week.
actually been a while.
Yeah, I've watched too many things, and it was Easter weekend, so everybody wanted to do a fucking party or something. um,
Yeah.
yeah, it was it was a very busy time for me. Did you watch a lot of things besides the stuff that we watched?
Ali,
Yeah.
you know that show Date Alive?
Date Alive? No.
I watched this incredibly mid-show on purpose. This the fourth season coming out right now.
Yeah.
And I watched it in dub, and like I paid no attention to the show. I would have it in the background while I'm playing Elden Ring, right? So I was like barely watching, but I still like understood everything was going on because nothing fucking. It's not a good show. I don't have to pay attention like that
Right.
to understand what's going on. But I watched like the three seasons. I actually like ran by it pretty quick. It was as bad as I thought it would be. But like whenever like anything like kind of interesting will happen, I'll just be like, then go back and play my game.
It's like, huh? Nah, never mind.
Yeah. But yeah, that's one thing I watched. It was three seasons, so it was a lot.
Wow.
And by the end, I was like, damn, could have watched Nana.
Yeah. Maybe we'll.
Other than that, huh?
I was gonna say maybe we'll watch Nana next. Maybe we'll finally do that. I don't know. Fuck it. Why not?
I have this other show I want to watch.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later. But yeah. So I just watched the things we watched in Day Alive,
Gotcha.
and I've been watching a lot of fucking like analytical videos on like my favorite things. I mean, like watching hours of that stuff.
Wow. That's cool. Are there any ones? I don't know. Are there any ones that like stand out? Unless they're in relation to like Trigun, then we'll talk about that later. But
Nah, I was watching like No Country for Old Men and American Psycho.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm Patrick Bateman. I love that movie.
It's funny how that movie gets it's still like the memes are still like rampant.
Yeah, because they're so good. It's amazing.
And like Reddit is filled with those memes.
Yeah. Have you seen the meme of like there's like a Japanese dub for American Psycho and they play the Japanese dub of the movie, but someone put fake subtitles as if he's talking about JoJo openings, and there's like that scene where he kills Paul and he's talking about the CD and he's like, this is called Battle Tendency. It was in the second arc of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and it was amazing. And it's like, it's so good. I gotta send you that video. It's really good.
Okay. Yeah, those memes are very versatile.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, it's cool. Like I watched the movie like probably like a year ago. It's cool how it's still like referenced a lot.
Yeah. It's a
Society.
classic. Society. We live in a society.
It's like 'cause I used to say that shit in high school. Remember when I first saw that meme? I used to tell my boy like, we like any minor inconvenience, like we live in a society.
Wait.
But then there's
like,
another meme where it's like we live in a society we live in. So I used to say the whole thing.
Oh, the meme existed before Joker? That's interesting.
Huh?
I thought the meme was originated from Joker. I didn't know if it was on.
That's why I got it.
Oh, okay. Joker came out when we were in high school?
No, fucking the Dark Knight Joker.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the meme was born from Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Oh no.
Oh. That's very interesting because there's a part in that movie where he's like, we live in a society where no one cares about us. And then people would meme that. But
The thing is, that meme is like top 5 memes all the time for me. I love that.
Top 5. What's your number 1? Among Us?
Among Us is like top 5.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But I don't know what's my favorite, but there's a lot of good ones.
Yeah, this Will Smith thing is really up there for me. Have you seen any of these memes? Like when he slaps him and Chris Rock goes into like ragdoll physics.
Yeah.
That one is so good. Oh, I love that one. Yeah, memes are good.
Memes are good. Like me and Lewis. In high school,
Lewis
like
is
in
the
high
king of
school, I was
memes.
really into like deep fried memes. You know?
What does deep fried mean? Chicken? Black because it's deep fried?
No, it's because there's the most absurd memes, right? The most absurd memes. You just have, if you don't get it, like I can't explain.
Like Among Us. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those, but it's like, so me and Lewis back in high school, we used to watch PewDiePie a lot because when he did his show Meme Review,
Yeah.
he reviewed all the memes that were like coming up before they go on Twitter and shit.
Yeah.
And I used to be on top of every meme. I'm like, Lost is one of my top 5.
Lost.
Me and Lewis, we would like watch PewDiePie religiously, watch all his meme reviews. They're just so good, but he doesn't even do it no more.
Man, I miss Lewis so much. When October, I'm counting the days. Like when he comes back. He's coming back in October, right?
No.
No?
He's not coming back anytime soon.
I thought that he would be like callable in October. Like we can like talk to him again.
You can probably hit him up now.
Oh, okay. I thought he was on like a ship and he was, I don't know, fighting the Nazis or something. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, he's running around Japan right now.
Oh, really? Hitting licks?
You can probably like call him up.
Interesting. Okay. We should do that one of these days. In the middle of an episode. Be like, hey, Lewis, what anime you watching? You see Attack on Titan? Is it dubbed over there?
I don't weird because for him, he can't go on like Crunchyroll Funimation.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it works for him.
Interesting. There's so much cool shit in Japan. There was like I don't know if it's still there, but there's like an Attack on Titan Universal attraction. And you can like there's like a giant colossal titan and you can put your head in its mouth and be like, oh my god, it's eating me. I wonder if he went there or something. Yeah.
Right, like Japan, there's too much things.
Yeah.
Gotta go there one day.
One of these days, it's gonna cost me like $6,000 or something, but it's worth it.
You know what's funny? Like, PewDiePie, I don't know, but PewDiePie is trying to like move to Japan to like live there.
Really?
Like for the rest of his life. I don't know what's going on, but he said he can't, or can't right now, but he's trying to like live there.
That's really interesting. He doesn't even seem like an anime boy.
Kind of is. I don't know. I think he is.
Yeah, I know he watches anime sometimes, but I don't know, he reads books. So yeah. It's cool that he wants to do that. Doesn't like the Anime Man and Giguk, don't they all live in Japan? Maybe not Giguk, but there are some YouTubers that do live in Japan. Yeah.
Wow. That's dope.
Yeah, it is cool.
I don't know how they moved to Japan. Because like I was reading like to like live in Japan or to get like citizenship, you have to like be an important person. I guess they count. Because like I was reading like to live in Japan, you have to be like a famous engineer or something like that to like live there.
What if I know there are some people that like learn Japanese and they get like a degree in education and then they become like Japanese teachers that teach English to like the kids. So what about
if you get a job. But I don't know, like for the YouTubers.
Right. I make videos on anime. Give me citizenship for your country, please.
Like that.
Yeah. I wonder how complicated that is. But anyways, I watched too many things. And I had to write them all down because there's too much that I consumed. I'm surprised you're still playing Elden Ring. You haven't like beaten it already? No, nowhere close. Okay. Good. You will be playing that game till the end of time.
I am. I'm really taking my time.
Okay, that's good. Manny just updated his list. He's standing right there. How did that happen? That's very weird. I guess the notifications are slightly delayed. Okay.
Yeah, I did that like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I get a notification every single time. Every single time you update your list, I'm like, fuck, Manny's watching the shows and I'm not. I need to get off my ass and watch the shows. Yeah, it's always fun.
I'm probably updating like what I'm watching, because at the bottom I say what I'm watching right now, and like what I'm going to watch or planning to watch. So I'm probably just updating that.
Okay, gotcha. So did you watch like Spy X Family and stuff?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I was gonna tell you about that shit.
Yeah, you want to save it till after, or you want to talk about it right now?
I'll just talk about it briefly. The first 2 episodes was really good.
Okay, go. Is it?
You didn't watch it?
No, I didn't watch. I'm gonna wait till it's over. I don't want to watch it weekly. Is it animated well? Like, does it look pretty, or is it like okay?
It looks good to me.
Okay, good.
Best looking show of the season.
That's good. That makes me very happy. Is it? Do you know what studio it is?
No.
Okay, I'll look it up after. But yeah, I got a lot of things to talk about, so we'll just get into this right now. I watched a fuck ton of movies. One of the movies that I watched is a new film called Everything Everywhere All at Once. And have you ever heard of A24? Do you know what that is? It's
No.
it's a production company that produces films in the same vein as like Disney makes, you know, movies, or like 20th Century Studios will produce a film. And depending on the studio, where like when Disney produces a movie, it's kind of under the Disney brand, where it's like, hey, look, it's a Disney movie, when Disney can make any movie they want, but they just particularly make movies that associate with their brand name. And then you have things like, I don't know, 20th Century Fox, which will just make whatever movie, regardless of the brand, a kid's movie, a grown-up movie, and blah, 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 blah. A24 is kind of like, their brand is artsy, cool movies for like young adults. So have you heard of Uncut Gems? Like, yeah, they did Uncut Gems. Have you heard of The Lighthouse?
No.
Have you heard of I'm trying to think of other ones that you might have heard of. Midsummer. Have you heard of that movie?
No.
Okay. Well, they did a lot of artsy movies that appeal to like us, you know, tryhards, but we're in our 20s. And there's a new movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once that's produced by them. And one thing that they do is, because the movies are made for tryhards, they have to lie when they make commercials, because they know that normal people are not going to watch these tryhard movies. So they have to like make the commercial seem like, hey, look, it's a normal movie. So I fall for it sometimes, and I look at a trailer, I'm like, that shit looks ass. I don't want to watch that. And the trailer for this movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, looked stupid, and I didn't want to watch it. But then the YouTuber that I respect a lot, whose reviews I take very highly, he made a tweet and he said, Everything Everywhere All at Once is the best Matrix movie since The Matrix. 9 out of 10. I was like, whoa, okay, I have to see this movie now. And I don't watch a lot of movies throughout the year, like a lot of the movies that come out in the year. I usually just see the superhero movies, and then like maybe some of the artsy stuff, like, you know, maybe like 5 or 6 of them. But I'd be very surprised if this is not my favorite movie of the year. This is really good. I don't think anything else is going to top it. I love this movie. And
this is an Asian lady movie. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very good. And I agree with the reviewer's statement. It's the best Matrix movie since The Matrix. And that's all I can really say. I want you to watch this movie, and I want you to go in blind. It would be cool to talk about if you did end up watching it. So that's the first thing I watched. Then I watched a old kung fu movie called Master of the Flying Guillotine. I don't know if you've heard that title before, but I've heard it multiple times, and I just kind of watched the movie based on the fact that I've heard the title. And, you know, it's like Bruce Lee. It's like live action, and they're like really fighting, but it's like a super old movie from like the 80s or 70s. And it's extremely good. It's like a Ninja Scroll if the fights were actual fights. It's like an hour and 30 minutes of just pure fights, but it's not anime, and there's no visual effects. It's like Bruce Lee grounded, like we're gonna like punch each other and fight each other, but it's really over the top and really cool, and I'm pretty sure that you would like it. It's great. It's very goofy. It's very fun. The main character has one arm. The bad guy has a guillotine weapon where he throws a frisbee, and then if it lands on your head, it chops off your head. It's cool. It's really good. It's an iconic kung fu movie, and I thought it was dope. And I think you would enjoy it a lot. And then I watched The Godfather in 4K, a remaster. Have you ever seen The Godfather?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, good. This was a movie that I tried to watch multiple times as a kid, and then I was like, this is boring, and I turned it off. But now with my adult brain, I can enjoy it properly. And, dude, I understand why people call this the best movie ever made. Al Pacino is just Aaron. He's Aaron Yeager. He's doing bad things, but you understand why he's doing them. Not in the way that the reason why people love The Godfather is because this good person turns into a bad person, but you still see them as a good person despite them doing bad things. It's kind of like Eren in Attack on Titan, where like he's killing all these people and he's doing all this evil shit, but you love him for it. And that's why you like The Godfather, because it's like, yeah, die for your family, fuck those cops. And it's fucking great. I don't like it more than like The Irishman, or like that's the only other real like mafia movie I've seen. It's not like a 10 out of 10 on my scale, but if anybody tells me it's their favorite movie, I'm not gonna like look at them weird. It's really good. I love it, and it's iconic for a good reason. And I always was under the impression that the sequels were bad, but the second one specifically is like rated just as highly as the first one.
Right.
On IMDb, I think Godfather is like number 3 or number 2, and Godfather Part 2 is like number 4 or number 3. So I haven't watched it yet, but I'm kind of interested to see what happens. I got to watch Godfather Part 2. Got to see the journey of Al Pacino, Michael Corleone. Yeah, I loved it. I'm glad that you saw it. Do you like The Godfather?
Yeah, but I saw it so long ago.
Yeah.
Like as a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good.
I never saw the second one though, and I know the second one is rated as good as like the first one.
Yeah, it's interesting because people call The Godfather like the best movie ever made, and like I never heard about the second one growing up. It wasn't like part of that conversation as much as the first one was, but I mean, it's rated as highly as the first one on like review sites, so it probably is just as good. Yeah, so that's The Godfather. And then at the Coolidge, they were doing a screening of Nausicaa, so I rewatched Nausicaa, and right before they did the movie, there was like a girl from like Boston University or something talking about how Nausicaa and the stuff that happens in the movie and how it's synonymous with our current like worlds, and how the current like crisis when it comes to climate change and blah 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 is resembling of the story in Nausicaa. That real world context that she gave about, you know, I know not everyone believes it, but how like global warming is like affecting the ecosystem of our world, and how we're like ruining it, and what's happening to the trees and stuff. She basically talks about how what's happening in the real world is what happens in Nausicaa. And when she gave her little speech, that was like 10 minutes, and then the movie started, it made me like the movie so much more than I did the first time. And I already loved Nausicaa, but it really kind of sold me on the fact that the movie's like really good. And since watching Nausicaa, I decided that Princess Mononoke is just as good, and I should not rate it lower or put it lower on my list, my tier list as a result. So after watching Nausicaa, even though I didn't rewatch Princess, I gave Princess an 8 instead of a 7, and I moved it up from the 11 on my list to the 7, which is right next to Nausicaa. I honestly don't like either one more than the other, but I just put them next to each other just because I don't really know which one's better. They're both great. They're the same movie. So yeah, I like Princess now, and I'm excited for the time that I end up rewatching it. Yeah, so that's something. Now Tales from Earthsea is now at number 11, and Princess got bumped up above like Grave of the Fireflies and some other stuff. But yeah, so
That's dope.
yeah, and then I watched
Quick side note. Spy Family is made by Wit Studio, and it's number 4 on the highest rated anime.
Okay, good. I'm excited. Wit Studio, I like whenever they do something, so it's gonna be great.
It's above fucking Steins Gate. You know?
oh, my anime list. You guys are clowns. Yeah, and then I watched Blade 2. Have you ever seen the Blade movies with Wesley Snipes? Okay, Blade 2 is actually really good. I wasn't expecting it to be good. I really enjoyed it. The only reason I watched it was because the Coolidge is just, they were screening it, and I trust the Coolidge like I trust a friend recommending me a movie. Like, if they are screening a movie, even if it's something I would never watch, like Blade 2, I'm like, okay, maybe there's some value in this that I'm not aware of, so I'll trust you guys, and I'll go see it. And it was so fun, man. The movie, I realized that, like, there is a whole subcategory of movies around the early 2000s that were just copying The Matrix. Like, when The Matrix came out, it was so influential that there were a ton of movies that just kind of leached off of that success. And maybe Blade's not one of them, because the first Blade came out before the first Matrix. So maybe Blade's just doing its own thing, and it just happens to be exactly like The Matrix. But regardless, it's very similar. You know, Wesley Snipes, he's got the Neo fit. There's like a whole squad of people. They all got like stupid ass names. They play like the techno music, like and I love it. It's Matrix, but with a black guy and vampires, and it's great. I had a great time watching it. There were a lot of surprises. Like, have you ever seen The Walking Dead?
No.
Okay. Do you know Daryl Dixon? Do you know like Norman Reedus?
No.
Do you know the guy on the poster for Death Stranding? Like the dude who's
a video game?
Yeah, like the main character.
Yeah.
He's an actor from The Walking Dead, and he's in Blade 2. And I was like, oh my God, it's fucking Norman Reedus. And the way he acts in Death Stranding is the same way he acts in The Walking Dead. Like he acts exactly the same. Like he smokes cigarettes the same. He talks all funny. And he does that in Blade 2. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe Norman Reedus is in this movie. And then there were other people in it that I thought was really cool. And it's directed by Guillermo del Toro, who is a very popular movie director. He did Pan's Labyrinth, the Hellboy movies, Shape of Water. He's very popular for like monster movies, and Blade is technically a monster movie with all the vampires, and all their designs are fantastic. So like, I don't know, it's really cool to see like good directors making like cliche movies, because then the cliche movies are elevated by them. It's like if Martin Scorsese made a Marvel movie, it's like, oh my God. Yeah, it's I know, right? Yeah, it's really good. I like Blade 2. There's a lot that I enjoyed about it. It's good. I don't have much to say. I'm kind of on a Blade high right now, so I kind of want to watch the other two, the third one and the first one. And there's a Blade anime, and it looks like shit, but I'm gonna watch it regardless, because I really just want more Blade in my life. Blade's so cool. They need to make a PS4 game like Batman where you play as Blade and you kill vampires. That would be awesome. And the new Blade better not be ass. It better have lots of blood and violence, like the old ones. Mahershala Ali will probably be very good as Blade, because he's a cool looking black dude. But anywho, I've also been watching Moon Knight, the Marvel thing, but who cares? Who cares about that? I also read a manga one-shot by the guy who made Chainsaw Man. And in the manga community, it's doing the rounds, and everyone's reading it. And it's really good. I wouldn't recommend it before Chainsaw Man, because maybe it's not connected to Chainsaw Man at all, but like maybe the aesthetic of the manga will spoil you on what Chainsaw Man is going to kind of be like. So maybe read it after Chainsaw Man comes out, but it's one of the best manga I've ever read, and it's only like 200 pages. It's not even like a whole thing. It's just one chapter. But it was really good. So I'm excited for Chainsaw Man, and when you watch Chainsaw Man, after it you should read that. It's called Goodbye Eri, and he also made another one called Look Back, which was based on the he made it in tandem with like the whole Kyoto Animation like massacre thing, and it was kind of about that, and it was really good. That one was amazing as well. So yeah, I watched a lot of things. I guess that's everything. I also watched Sonic, but there's too many things. Some of them I just didn't mention. Yeah, that's it. That's all my stuff.
The new Sonic movie?
Yeah, the new Sonic movie. Mm-hmm.
It's in theaters?
Yeah, it's in theaters. You like Sonic?
Is fucking Shadow in it?
Yes.
Is the white dude in it?
No. No.
I'm not watching.
He'll be in the third one. They're gonna make a third one. Shadow pops up at like the end credits, and it's like dun 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 dun. We're gonna put Shadow in the next one. So.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. But it's got Knuckles, and it's Idris Elba as Knuckles.
Knuckles is cool.
Yeah, Knuckles is
With
really
that
cool.
white. What was that white guy's name?
I'm not a Sonic fan. I don't know. I'll guess. I'm gonna guess Crystal, but I'm pretty sure that's not it. Silver. His name's Silver.
Silver, yeah.
Yay.
So I had how many of the Sonic games growing up, and I remember this motherfucker would pull up, and I'd be like, dude.
Which Sonic games did you have?
Bro, I had so many of them, like early ones.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
remember but like I'm talking about like
Unleashed.
so many. I don't even remember the fucking like console I had them on, but I had like all of them.
Wow, that's so cool. You're a real Sonic fanboy. A lot of people like Sonic. I didn't know that you were a Sonic man.
Sonic's cool. People be like, who would win, like Sonic versus Flash? Be like, and the Sonic fanboys be like, yo, Sonic ran off the comic books.
That's really funny. Yeah, that's so cool. We should talk about Sonic. Sonic's awesome. I want to be more educated on it.
You like the movie? Do you like the movie?
Yes, it was really good. The movies are surprisingly good for people who are well versed in Sonic. Like if you know the Sonic meme, like the one where he's doing like this. You know that like there's a scene in the first movie where like a homeless guy pops up and he's like, I saw this running blue thing. This is exactly what it looked like. And it was the Sonic picture, and it was like it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I was like, I wasn't expecting that.
Dope.
Yeah,
That's like
dope.
that's like NetherRealm's putting like Ultra Instinct Shaggy.
Yeah,
That one thing
exactly.
did.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's the perfect blend of being unironically really good and really solid for people who like Sonic, and also being ironically good because it's trying to be a kids movie and it's trying to appeal to like families and stuff. So there's a lot of stupid shit that I really laugh at. Like Sonic does the floss in the first one. And Robotnik, even though the floss is like not a thing anymore, he does it again in the second one. It's so stupid. And Jim Carrey is really good as Robotnik too. So it's a good movie. If you like Sonic, you would have a great time. Yeah. Tails is in the second one.
Of course, she has to be in it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was she in the first one?
Yeah, I've seen the first one. I love the first one.
No, was she in the first one?
No, because
Really?
he Tails is a girl. I didn't know that. I thought Tails was a boy. But they pop up.
I thought she was a girl.
I don't know. Look it up.
She has. Nah. Tails is a fucking guy.
Okay. Yeah. I always
Like,
saw
I'm
him
not such
as...
a. Let me touch it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a guy.
Yeah, he popped up at the end credits of the first movie. And when I saw him, I literally went, yes, in like the middle of the theater. I was like, let's go. It was very cool when he rolled up. He looks so good in the movie.
It says here that in the original comic released in Japan, he was a girl.
Oh, interesting. Well, I want to see that that big titty Sonic character, Rogue, The one with like the big boobs and she's got like the heart like chest plate. I want her to be in the movie. I want to see what happens. I want to see how they animate that. That's gonna be really funny if they do. There's a lot of Sonic characters that I want to see in the movie.
Yeah.
You know that big purple thing? The I don't know his name. He goes Froggy and he's like giant. Look up big purple Sonic thing. He's cool.
Oh yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
I think I've seen him in games.
Yeah, he's been in some of the games. But yeah, Sonic, it was good. Yeah, that's it. I guess now we can get into the movies. I don't know which one to start with. Do you want to pick? Which one do you want to start with?
I don't know.
Okay. Fuck, I don't know. I guess
let's do the anime.
Let's do that. Okay, good. Terror in Resonance, Shinichiro Watanabe. This was the show that we recommended on the last episode. 2014, Studio Mappa, Yoko Kanno, Watanabe. It's the one Watanabe thing that no one talks about, and after watching it, I kind of understand why. And I was hoping that it would be a little bit of a sleeper hit. I was hoping that it was going to be like, oh, everyone's wrong. They just don't get it. It's too try hard for them. But it's I didn't really like it that much. What did you think?
I didn't like it. It started off strong.
It really did. Oh my, I think the first like 4 episodes are fantastic.
It started off so strong.
Yeah.
That's why I told you. I was like, last episode, I was like, I saw the first episode, and the first episode was great.
Yeah.
But then, like, oh my god, there's a lot to dissect. But one, I like the opening.
Yes, me too. The opening, when the show got bad, I looked forward to watching the opening because it really got me in the mood of I don't know how to explain it. The opening did a very good job at putting me in the mindset of like, this is what you're supposed to feel while watching this show. After episode like 5, the show stopped giving me that feeling, so I just had to wait for the opening.
It was episode 5 where the show turned ass. But I'll say, wow, a couple things I like. The opening is fire. In episode 2, when they're trying to track them and they can't find them, like they're using the Tor. You remember when they said that? It's like, we can't track them because they're using Tor. Tor browser is the dark web.
Oh.
So I was like, I knew that, and I was like, that's fire.
That's really cool.
Like it's literally called Tor browser, and they say they're using Tor, we can't find them. So I was like, I got it. I was like, that was fire.
Yeah, they mentioned Amazon too. So
yeah, they also said we can't track their blah 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 because they're using cryptocurrency, and that's another real thing people do. Mm-hmm. You can't track shit. They use crypto.
I loved the first 4 episodes. I thought it was very grounded and realistic and really, really cool. There was quick side note. There was a part in the movie where they showed like a WickDonald's, not McDonald's, but like the M is upside down, and they did that in the Cowboy Bebop movie as well. And I was like, oh my god, it's WickDonald's. I looked it up right before hopping on, and apparently WickDonald's is in like a bunch of things. It's not just Cowboy Bebop. Yeah. Apparently it's in Anohana. Did you remember that?
I don't.
Okay. I saw like 3 pictures of it in Anohana. I'm like, oh my god, shared universe. But yeah.
The crazy conspiracy, McDonald's.
Yeah.
The McDonald's conspiracy. Like a 3-hour video.
I'm gonna do that on April Fools. I'm gonna be like, McDonald's shared universe. I'm gonna put a picture of Spike next to Anohana, and they're like looking at each other.
Oh my god, that's a great thumbnail.
Yeah. It'll bait people so hard, and the video will be genuine. It won't be fake. I won't like fill in time. Okay, let's get back to that shit.
Yeah. Apparently the show Terror in Resonance is banned in China because China says they don't want the youth to be influenced and do the same kind of acts.
Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of shows that are banned in China. Like South Park is banned in China. So
Attack on Titan is banned in China.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Why? Do you know? Is there a reason?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Disney's not allowed to show gay characters in China either, so.
They don't like Aaron's freedom, bro.
Bro, honestly, they really, yeah. Dude, that's so crazy. China is a scary country.
Yeah, I'd love to go there one day though.
Yeah, it's pretty.
But I was gonna say one thing I noticed is that 5 pulls up in episode 5.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I read that the voice actor for 9 and 12 are the same dudes from Haikyuu, and they're the people they voice act in Haikyuu wear the same numbers on their jersey, 9 and 12.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
That's about it. Other than those little cool facts, the show had so much going for it.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was gonna be like a Death Note.
It felt like it.
Yeah, like a fierce battle between the detective and the terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
But then episode 5 is when all goes fucking haywire. They add that character.
Yeah.
That's right when they added that character, Ali, I was like, this show's gonna be ass.
Bro, I felt the exact. I'm glad you felt the same way. I felt the exact same way. I was like, fuck. And in my head, I thought to myself, maybe she'll get booted out very quickly. Like maybe she'll die, and then it will go back to normal. But she dies on episode 10, so I only have like one episode without her. Yeah.
Oh, like the show would have been so dope if it was just the kids and the detective.
Yeah.
I think it was Shibazaki.
Mm-hmm.
He was dope because not only like, because he had some motive behind him, like because his the little friend that committed suicide.
Yeah, it was a friend
or something else
or something.
It was that and something else, but he had motive behind him. Whereas the female 5, her motive was to beat 9, just beat him, and you never find out why.
I think the show explains it, but the reason is just stupid, and you don't care. I think it's just dumb. She she wants. I'm not even gonna try and explain it. It doesn't matter. It's stupid.
Because he beat her back in the facility or something.
I guess. I think it's because something like that. I don't even know.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, and it's dumb.
The thing is, like right when I saw it, I knew the show was gonna fall right when I saw it because she just looked too bizarre to just do like some. The show looked like, obviously it's not like hyper realistic, but it was like it felt realistic, right?
It felt very grounded for the anime. Yeah. Like the character design wasn't out of this world. It wasn't like wacky and stupid like most anime. And then you got this fucking like hourglass girl with this poofy hair, and she's like
white hair.
Yeah, she's got this
purple eyes.
I know. It's so
out of place.
I know. And I want to make it clear that it could have worked. You could have made it been okay. Like when I know that this isn't like a one-to-one comparison, not with the criticisms that we're making of her like looking weird and stuff, but this show, it really made me think of when Nier, is that his name? In Death Note, like the kid with the white hair.
Yeah.
It made me think of when he popped up, and even that part being like the worst part of Death Note, it's still good because you still resonate with the emotional center of the show of like Light Yagami's motivations. But when the girl pops up, it's now not about the psychology of the main characters and what they're going through and why they're doing this terrorist stuff. Now it's just plot, 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 plot. Goopy Goblin Gamer Brain, look at this new person make things more difficult for our MCs. But that's not what I valued about the show. I wasn't into it just for the terroristy stuff. I was into it because I was into the philosophy of the main characters and I was ready to explore that. And the show literally stops exploring it when she pops up, and she's just like this weird roadblock in the middle.
Yeah, she does. Like she comes and then like they do that. Like the show is like grounded, and then like she comes like they're playing chess.
Yeah.
In the airport.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And I was like, now the show's getting ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a far cry from like the first episode, you know?
Right.
Such a far cry. It really let me down. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
five was the worst part of the show for me.
I'm glad we
Worst.
agree.
She's not only the bad part. It's also the
The girl, the side girl. Yeah.
yeah. No, I was gonna also say like 5 also takes up so much screen time.
Yeah.
Like it literally like it's like she takes up so much screen time and like she's such a trash character. Like they had so much time to like develop something or like their past abilities, but it just boils down to this stupid like game.
Yeah. Like I said, you could have made something really good out of it, but you made it. I hate to use this word because something being generic and basic doesn't inherently make it bad, but it's generic and basic and it's bad in comparison to the first 4 episodes, which was a little bit had a little bit of subtlety and a little bit of nuance, and now it just feels like I'm just watching a show that I've seen like 7,000 times already.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
And it sucks because all that screen time she had,
right?
It was just taken away from the detective. You know,
I know.
He became just like a background character. Like when she like pulls up.
Yeah.
Not really, but like he just takes. Where you think he's gonna be, he takes like 3 steps back, and he's not the main factor anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 5 sucks.
5 sucks. And what's that girl's name? Lisa? I don't remember her name. She sucks too.
Yeah.
She's she's basic and she's stupid and she's kind of annoying, but I could put up with her because I understood what they were trying to say with her, and they still said what they wanted to say, where it's like, our main characters are lonely and they're outcast and they feel like based on what happened to them, they want to kind of rebel against society for it and blah, 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 because there's no way that they can like reaffirm themselves back into the mold and like connect with anybody. But then they connect with this one like little girl and, I understand what they were going for. It's generic and lame, but I trusted the show that it was going to bring it in like an interesting direction. And then she fucking like runs away. It's like she runs away even though she knows. Give me a second. Come in, biscuit. She runs away the second time even though she knows that Fives is after her and it's going to conflict with what the dudes are trying to do and it's going to make their lives more difficult. She still runs away the second time, knowing that. Like, that's like the biggest. I know that she's dumb, but she's not that dumb. I really don't think she is.
Shows do this a lot where they need something to happen.
Yeah.
Where they can get caught, and it was like, I just hate when shows do it like this.
Yeah.
When, like it's so dumb. It's like
when characters act out of character in order for conflict to arise. It's weird because when Fives pops up, for me at least, every single element of the show got worse. Like the whatchamacallit, the music got worse. The cinematography was not as interesting or cool. The animation, nothing like wowed me anymore. There were no like cool bits. The writing got worse. Like it got more generic. And these are all like random things that I wouldn't really expect to get worse, but they did. I don't know why. What happened, Watanabe? What did you do?
Yeah, he's tripping.
He's smoking some reefer while on this shit. Let me get this bag real quick. I don't know what he's doing. Oh my god. This came out the same year as Space Dandy. It's so weird. It's not even like
Really?
Yeah. 2014. It's so odd. I don't understand.
Yeah, that is crazy. I guess Watanabe needs to stick to that episodic formula.
In my opinion, he can do things. I mean, Kids on the Slope, was that episodic?
No.
Did you like Kids on the Slope?
Yeah.
Okay. I think he can do things outside of that like episodic thing. I'm very much for directors doing things that they don't usually do and going kind of outside of their usual comfort zone. You know, I think it's cool when if I hear that Martin Scorsese is going to make something that's not a mafia movie, then I'm going to get excited because I like when they try new things, and usually it works. And Watanabe did try new things. He did the Carol and Tuesday, and he did the Kids on the Slope, and people like that. And if he wanted, to me, like this was very similar. The biggest thing I compared it to was the Matrix shorts. Like this reminded me a lot of like a kid's story and like the detective one. It just kind of had that vibe a little bit, at least to me. I'm okay with him doing a story like this. I thought the first 4 episodes were great. If he kept that energy, I would have considered it a there would be YouTube videos called Shinichiro Watanabe's underrated gem, but you know, no one's making those videos, not with those last 6 episodes.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either.
But yeah, Lisa's just terrible. Like, cause especially in that first episode, they make her seem so important.
She is really important.
Like she's gonna have like a major like character arc, but she just turns out to be like a love interest for 12, and like just a nuisance for 9.
Yeah,
kind of a nuisance. Cause like she's like I want to help, and he'd just be like, yeah, in the way. That's all the conversations like amount to, you know.
Yeah.
Then
so paper thin.
Then she gets captured.
Right.
And then yeah, like
there's nothing to say, man. It sucks.
Like they had her whole like mom thing. Her mom was like unstable and shit. You don't even know what's going on with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah. The show was like
the second is such a far cry from the first half.
I know.
Like I was actually like, blown away how like the show like changed, or how like it could have been if it was just like this.
It's not even when I watch the show, I don't even watch it and go like, oh, I see what they were going for, and I guess they fucked up. So I'm empathetic of the fact that they tried. I have no idea what he was thinking, what Watanabe or what like anybody was thinking like while making those last 5 episodes. Like, yeah, this is great. Like what? I don't understand. And it's like, it's also Watanabe. Like this plot would never get this like budget. Like no one would ever be able to go and be like, hey, I want the characters to look like this, and I want the show to have this kind of music, and I want the plot to be about this. No one would ever be like, yeah, bro, we'll give you all this money, all these resources to make this, except if you're someone like Watanabe. And people were like, fuck it, we can put your name on the poster. And it's like he didn't even deliver.
Yeah.
You know, like this show, if this show was the best version of itself, like let's say it was consistent with like the first 4 episodes, it would probably be like a 7 on my scale, which is nowhere near how much I appreciate his other works. But
right.
I would have still enjoyed it. I would have still thought it was okay. And this movie, I mean, this show, it doesn't even meet those standards, you know? Like Vivi meets Vivi's standards. Vivi is mid, but Vivi is good at being mid. Like, does that make any sense? Like, it's consistent from beginning to end. Like, if you like mid shows, you'll probably like Vivi. But if you like mid shows, I don't know if you're gonna like this. You want to know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress. It's just like, wow, this is kind of promising, and then it's just like, what happened? Like, where did this go? What did you do? You weren't your show wasn't even that ambitious to begin with. How did you fuck it up? That's the worst part about Terror in Resonance. It's not very ambitious. It's not doing anything super different. It's just Joker and Death Note. I've seen this before, but I'm okay with that, right? Like, I'll watch it again. I love you, Watanabe. I'll give you a pass, but not after the sins that you committed with 5. Yeah, it was really bad. I don't know.
How did you feel about the main character's like goal? The main goal.
The main motivation.
Yeah.
Let me think about that for a second, because I guess it doesn't really sit with me that much, to the point where I don't even really have a lot to say about it or have a lot to think about it. While I was watching it, I did kind of like it, and that was like the one thing that I walked away from the show with saying like, all right, I guess that was okay. That's kind of, when I finished it, that's what I was thinking. But even right now, I'm struggling to like come up with like the words for what his main motivation was. I guess he was just like, he was kind of like a Joker type character where he hated society and he wanted to like express that through his like videos. And, you know, he was like Riddler, right? He was kind of like that, but he was, you know, he wasn't like as incel losery as Riddler was. He was like more cool and badass. And I'm comfortable with saying that I like the main character's motivation, and I really liked the ending, despite everything leading up to it. I like the first 4 episodes, and I like the ending, and I'm okay with the main character's motivation. What did you think of it? Because it's weird.
Well, my takeaway was, I guess they wanted to like, it's kind of like vengeance in a way, because like,
yeah,
Japan put those kids into that program. All of them fucking, like, all them except those 3 fucking didn't make it out. All died.
Yeah,
and like no one knows, like no one.
Yeah, it's like Zeke.
But yeah, it's like no one knows. It's like fucking It's like
Zeke from Attack on Titan.
It's like hold on. What's the fucking the war movie we just saw? With dude, what the fuck?
War?
Yes, World War II Japan.
Grave of the Fireflies?
Yeah, it's like Grave of the Fireflies if they like grew up to become terrorists, but that's what I thought of when I watched the show. But like, I guess they're like with the bomb, they're like gonna weaken Japan's society because like they knocked out all the power and shit. Everyone's fucking scared.
Yeah.
So I guess they got their revenge, but they didn't kill anyone.
Right.
I guess they just got the revenge on Japan alone. Yeah. But at the same time, like, wouldn't the radiation still like kill people, even if it blown up that high?
If we're being technical, it probably would. But the way the show explained it, I think that when you're creating a TV show, it doesn't have to be like exactly realistic. I think you can make up some shit and you can say stuff like that. But the show is grounded in the first 4 episodes. So when they make up some stuff, it's like, oh, it's not like the first 4 episodes where it was realistic.
I'm not tripping because the thing, like, still, like, the radiation would still, like, body people. And if they knocked out all the power, wouldn't the people in the hospital die?
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
You know, that's actually a very, very good point. Because that's what Attack on Titan talks about, where it's like, because this is literally what this is Zeke's whole motivation, where it's like, yeah, let's.
That's what the Trigun movie talked about.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, like, oh my god, yeah, you're so right. Yo,
that's crazy.
That's so like I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah, bro. I forgot. Yes, no, you're right, Manny. It's literally Trigun. Damn, Watanabe. Damn, bro, you suck. Like, what are you doing? Oh my god. Man, that makes me so mad now. You're right. It's Trigun, but not as thoughtful as Trigun. I don't want to jump the shark and get into the Trigun discussion, but like, I think that Cowboy Bebop and Trigun, in terms of thoughtfulness, are like on par with each other. And like, they're saying different things, but the calamity of what they're saying and the thought into how they say what they want to say is so thoughtful. And to see Watanabe touch something else and have it not be as thoughtful is annoying. And I want to acknowledge that Watanabe is not a one-man army. There's a lot of people that worked on Cowboy Bebop that made Bebop what it is. So I don't know. But Watanabe jumped to like different studios and he made like different shows with different people. So I don't fucking know. You did good those times. Why did you fuck up this time, you know? Yeah, I'm so happy you brought that up. That's so good. Great criticism.
Yeah. Thing is, when it happened in Trigun, the female like that's when she changed her ways.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But in this movie, in this movie they don't even like acknowledge like the outcomes of blowing up a bomb, nuclear bomb. It's whatever. But the thing is with their goal is like you don't really know what their goal is at the start. Am I right? Or like halfway through, you kind of find out at the end, right?
Yes, you basically find out at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember like I kind of got like
bored
as the show gets worse. I got just less interested in like their reveal on like the facility and like their main goal.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like the reveal isn't really like a reveal, but like the show acts like it's a reveal. Like I feel like they give you enough info to know what goes on.
Yeah, they give you enough info to understand why they are doing what they're doing, even though you don't know what they're going to do. You know, you get the point, so it doesn't matter.
But it's when Shibazaki, he goes on a little side quest to find the dude who like ran the shit.
Yeah,
he's like, blah 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 blah. The government, like kids and shit, and like even though it's crazy to Shibazaki, to the viewer, it's like we already like pieced that together, you know.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So like that whole like reveal was like, it was really nothing because I feel like they showed too much.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it definitely isn't like a reveal like, oh my god, that's so shocking. It's more, I guess it's just kind of to see Shibazaki's reaction to it now, knowing all the information himself, I guess. But I guess that's kind of the point. Like, oh, this character finally figured out about it. Let's see how he responds to. I don't know. No, I'm just grasping at straws. It's stupid. It's
but they go. I don't know. Like, 'cause I feel like these characters are held to like such like to like a moral high ground, but really they're not though. Like
they really aren't.
But there's like they're made to seem like they're like great people because they didn't kill no one. Well, in all actuality,
they probably killed a bunch of people.
Did.
Yeah,
definitely did. But,
I'm sorry. There was a part? Was it in Trigun where like they talk about how the light bulb not being in Trigun, like someone had to there was no doc. Was it in Trigun the show or was it in the movie?
In the movie.
They
had to manually pump.
Okay.
Air.
God damn, that's so like such a crazy coincidence. Yeah. The show fucked up in that regard. Yeah, these characters are on like a moral high ground. They don't want to kill anybody. But I honestly thought that was the reason why they were on like this. They weren't trying to kill anyone was because their fight was with Japan and like what society did to them, not what the people of Japan did to them, right? So
yeah, I get that, but it's like the show paints them as like good guys, but they're just not. I didn't think they were like cool or the good guys. Even if they went and fought for their goals,
right?
I like that they stuck by it because the dude at the end was like, "Yo, we shouldn't do this anymore." I was like, "Bro, fuck that shit."
Yeah.
I like that I like when characters stick by their shit, right? But,
yeah, it's
but their end goal, their end game just didn't really sit well with me.
I see. I think it could work if you executed it well. The whole thing with the doctors that you said, that's like a ride your wave. It's like something that the movie doesn't take into account. But regardless of the fact that the movie like forgot about that, I see what they were going. They wanted to create like an Aaron Yeager, Al Pacino, Michael Corleone type character where it's like, yeah, what they're doing is bad, but like you will like them for doing the bad thing because you completely understand their point of view, kind of thing, kind of like Aaron. But so I'm gonna be honest, that was like the one element of the show that kind of worked for me.
I get it, but the thing is, like, if I was them, I would much rather expose Japan rather than blow it up.
Right.
Because they nuked the sky.
Well, that's why I think that's why they blew it up. Because he said at the end, like, now that you've done this, now no one can ignore it. Now everybody's going to ask about it because he wanted to have the press conference, and he wanted to be like, I'll turn off the bomb if you let me on the press conference so I can say everything that I want to say. But because like he was interrupted, he was like, all right, I'm gonna set the bomb off. And now Shibazaki, he goes to him and like he's not even mad at him. He's basically saying like, you know, I agree with you, and you're gonna be able to do what you want to do. You're gonna be able to like tell everybody about the thing that happened only because you set the bomb off. I mean, the ride your wave is still there, so it's still bad, but that's what I think they were going for.
I feel like I see what they're going for, but in all actuality, I feel like people would have listened regardless of a nuke. Because now it's like, dude, just nuke I can't even go to the hospital.
Right.
Like, I don't give a fuck about what happened in your past.
Yeah.
I can't even turn on the TV. I don't care that you got fucked up in the past, bro.
No anime for a year? You're really gonna delay my favorite show?
Yeah, like Chainsaw Man just got delayed 3 more years because you wanted to nuke shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was such a close call too. Like all the planes had to land. Like that shit was so scary for me. I'm like, oh my god, someone's gonna die. Like this is way too last minute. You guys are putting way too much faith in like the Japanese police to like land like 100 planes. How many airports do you have? Is that even physically possible?
Bro, there was like we have like 1,000 planes there. They'll take an hour and like do in 30 minutes.
Dude, that was insane.
But yeah, I feel like with Attack on Titan, I feel like Attack on Titan, even though like I understand like this is 11 episodes, Attack on Titan is like long running. Attack on Titan like rallies its fan base to get behind Eren's actions, or like Joker.
You know, if they didn't spend 5 episodes dicking around, maybe they could have made me care. But
yeah, like that's the thing. Like other shows make you rally again with the bad guy. This one, this doesn't.
The Godfather is one movie, and you really root for Michael Corleone. Like the length, honestly, isn't an excuse. Like there's no reason why.
Same thing with Joaquin Phoenix Joker. And in that, like he's fucking killing people and shit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It's slightly a different thing with Joaquin Phoenix Joker, but you are correct. The show succeeds at making you empathize with the character. I mean, the movie succeeds by making you empathize with Joaquin Phoenix Joker by the end of the film.
Right.
Yeah. But dude, what the hell? Like, what was this show?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I really don't. And it's rated very highly on my anime list and IMDb. Like,
is it?
Yeah, it's got like a fucking go on my anime list. It's like number 112 on like the ranking. It's like got a 8.11. I mean, I don't know.
Bro, you know one thing, the cover art does look dope.
Yeah, it does. It's a really good bait.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I bought cover art is a good opening. But the thing is too, it has a 8.1. It is high.
Yeah, that's extremely high. And IMDb, let me check on IMDb. Granted, not that many people watched it, so it has like less ratings than most things. How many ratings does it have on my anime list? Do you know how to read that? It's a 7.9 on IMDb.
It says 1 million members, but I don't know if members count as like reviews.
Right.
I don't really use Mal like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, it was probably the best thing that came out of summer 2014, probably.
No, Space Dandy came out that summer. No.
The same summer?
Space Dandy was chopped up into 2 seasons. It was in the beginning of like January to March, and then it was like the second half was that same season. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, so like I don't fucking get it. Like
never mind. Fucking 2014 summer was fucking jam packed.
What? Tell me everything.
Fucking Tokyo Ghoul, Akame ga Kill.
Holy shit.
Sword Art Online 2.
Yeah. Sword Art Online 2 and Akame ga Kill were better than this. Like those are quote unquote mid, but they're better. They're better.
Akame ga Kill is mid, but it is better.
Yeah. Do you like that's one of the main things I wanted to ask you about Terror in Resonance. Like compared to other mid shows, like Vivi is the number one thing that I think of. Like, do you like Vivi more than this?
Uh, uh, I don't know.
Okay. I know Vivi's might not be a good example, but like there are, on my scale, even if something's mid, I will always be like open-minded, and I'll try not to let something that is cliche and something that I've seen before be a deciding factor as to whether I like love or hate something, and whether like I have that dictate my rating, you know? Like Vivi, I was talking about how Vivi is like generic, but like it's still fine and I don't hate it. So on our call, I gave Vivi a 7, but since then I bumped it down to a 6. Like I really don't hate that show, despite the attitude I gave it at first. And like Sword of the Stranger, I don't hate that. Batman Gotham Knight, like there's a lot of things that I think are like quote unquote mid that I have nothing against, and I gave them a 6.
I understand. For me, like what I think is mid is like God of High School.
Okay.
Like that's like
peak mid.
Like no, definitely not peak. That's like mid. Mid.
Yeah. I honestly wouldn't even call this mid. I don't think it deserves to be called mid. This is bad.
Yeah. For me, I think this is like low tier mid.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. My rating is a 5 out of 10, and I guess on my scale that is also low tier mid. So
I'm getting it like a low 6.
Yeah. Very disappointing.
Vivi is better. Vivi is better.
Glad we can agree on that. I'm glad you recommended it. I'm glad I watched this. I like to have opinions on these type of shows, like these weird outliers. It's good that we watched it, so now if anybody brings it up, we can be like, yeah, fuck that show, or something like that. Yeah, we need to don't be afraid to recommend things like this in the future. It's very important. Like you said on last episode, we gotta watch ass sometimes.
Bro, it's funny because like I only like recommend
shows that you think
and I think are good.
Yeah.
I don't purposely like recommend.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should like watch like School Days or something.
I would like to watch School Days. I would like to talk about it.
Have you seen it before?
No, but I know about its.
I've never seen it before.
I've never seen it before either. I would like to watch it. It seems very important in the history of anime. It feels like something that a lot of people talk about, and I just kind of want to watch it for educational purposes. I want to experience it. How long is it?
12 episodes, I believe.
Huh.
It's it's like something you have to watch.
Yeah, I agree. It's something that we should watch. I'm happy that you're open to watching it, because I know it's a oddity, and it's not really like normal.
It's like Sword Online.
Yeah, School Days. We'll watch that eventually, but I imagine you have something like penned up for the next episode already. Do you? Okay. So maybe I'll buy the Blu-ray at Anime Boston, and we'll talk about it then. Make sure it's uncensored. All right. So that's Terror in Resonance. I bought the fucking Blu-ray. I gotta sell this shit. Gotta figure out who will buy it. All right. Yeah. So I would like to talk about Trigun. I would like to do that next. Are you okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. Trigun. I loved this movie so much. I had a great time. Yeah. It was.
I was worried you didn't like it.
Oh, were some of my reactions acting as if I didn't enjoy it? What makes you think I didn't like it?
I don't know. When I was watching, I was like, I wonder if you liked it.
I fucking loved it, Manny. It was great. Okay, before we get into it, I need to talk about my experience with watching this movie and why it took me so long to hop on the call. So I got 30 minutes into it, and I was watching it on Tubi. So I was watching it with fucking ads, and I was watching it subbed, and I watched Trigun.
You watched it subbed? I
had to. And I'll explain why. I I watched it subbed for 30 minutes, and I loved the dub of Trigun, and I was like, oh my God, like, it's been so long since I've seen Trigun, I don't even really remember the show that much, and I love the dub, and I can't watch the dub on Tubi, so let me buy the Blu-ray and the DVD for the show, and let me rewatch the show, let me like try to grind through it, and then let me watch the movie. So I rewatched the show dubbed, and
You rewatched the entire show?
I rewatched the entire show. Yes. That's why it took me so long to hop on. I put too much on my plate, but I really needed to, because just like Cowboy Bebop, I forgot a lot of it. I'm very happy that I rewatched it for this call. I have a lot of things to say about the show if we have time to talk about the show. And I love the show. And one of the best parts of the show is the dub. But the dub is not good in the same way that the Cowboy Bebop dub is good. It's not like I've been struggling to kind of put this into words. There's something about like old Funimation 90s dubs that they are not like immaculate in their execution. It's like sometimes the lip sync might be off. Sometimes a character says something goofy and it seems a little off and blah, 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 blah. And usually that stuff would bother me. But with Trigun, if you can take that stuff at face value and you can accept it for what it is and you can acknowledge those faults and you just accept that this is the characters and this is how they talk and this is what the show is, it has this weird authenticity to it that modern dubs do not have because of those fuck ups. It makes it feel more genuine. It's like when with Tales from Earthsea, where like you could hear like the lip saliva thing like in the English audio. It's kind of like that, where it's like sometimes a line doesn't really sync up with the animation too well, but you can tell that they really delivered that line and they really cared about that performance, that they were willing to make it not sync up with the animation properly if it meant that the line would be better. So like an example is like with when Vash like shoots knives. I don't know if you remember that, but that's like one of my favorite scenes in the show. Like in the flashback, the first time Vash like shoots knives in like the leg, and Knives like he like screams, he's like, Vash, did you really shoot me, Vash? Ah! And if they dubbed that show today, it wouldn't be delivered the way that it's delivered in the show. It's a little goofy and it's a little like out there, but it's endearing because they felt like that was the better version emotionally, even if it wasn't the more realistic one. So like I said, if you can take that at face value, you will like the show a lot. And there's a quality that's, I don't want to call it better, but there's a different appeal to the dub in Trigun than to the dub in like Bebop or Steins Gate or Space Dandy. It's a relic of its time and it cannot be replicated. So I watched it dubbed. I love the dub. Then I rewatched the movie. I started the movie over again in dub and I was like, all right, let's go. And to my dismay, none of the voice actors of the main four, like Wolfwood, Meryl, Millie, and Vash, the only one that's the same is Vash. Meryl, Millie, and Wolfwood are not the same. And I was very, very sad. And not only are they not the same, but they do not record the voice lines with that like broken authenticity that I tried to explain. They don't have that in the movie. And I really didn't want to. I tried to power through it. I got like 30 minutes in and I was like, I can't do this. And I switched to the sub. And none of the voice actors are dead. Like Wolfwood, like they're all alive. I don't know why they didn't just bring them back. Even if they have to record the lines like a modern anime, like, I don't know, just bring those old voices back. Maybe it's been like 20 years. So maybe like, not 20, it's been like 10 years, right? This was in 2010. Trigun was in 1998. So maybe their voices changed. Maybe they can't do those voices anymore, but I don't know. When Wolfwood was different, I was like, bro, I couldn't accept that. I love Wolfwood. So I did not watch it dubbed, and I like the sub. I think the sub is still very good. I think the voice actors do a good job. They're close enough, like in how they perform. I also wanted to mention this. Sorry that I'm spending too much time on this part, but I didn't bring this up when we were talking about Attack on Titan, but with Attack on Titan, I had the same trouble of like, should I watch this dubbed or should I watch it subbed? And ever since Attack on Titan, ever since I decided like I'm not gonna watch this dubbed, I'm gonna watch it subbed, I've never appreciated sub voice actors before like I did with Attack on Titan. Like I really love those sub voice actors, and I think that they are like infinitely better than the dub ones, and it's insane how a voice actor can like change the way you see a character. I think the Trigun dub, I think all the voice actors are great. I think that when you listen to sub Vash versus dub Vash, you have a different interpretation of it, but sub Vash is still really good, and sub Meryl and sub Millie are great, and sub Wolfwood is very different. You're going to see the character a lot differently because the sub is so different than how he is in the dub. But sub Wolfwood is still good despite being different, and I can still accept it. So it's a frustrating compensation that I have to make with this movie, but regardless, I still enjoyed it despite watching the sub. That is my journey with the sub and dub of Trigun. That's why I had to watch it subbed. But did you enjoy the dub?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
Good. I'm glad you did. So yeah, we can get into the movie. I loved it. I had a great time with it. This is another situation where I didn't really remember it that much, so it felt very fresh for me. It was a very good experience, especially right after watching the show. I wanted to kind of replicate the Cowboy Bebop experience, and dude, man, where do you even start? It's really good.
Well, I thought it looked really good.
Yes, it was fucking beautiful. It was like seeing, the original show isn't animated super well, so seeing it animated in like 2010's ultra high fidelity is like, oh my god, it's great. It's I literally was sitting there watching it like, this might be like one of the best looking anime I've like seen. Like that's a bold statement, but it was just really good. It looked amazing. I loved it.
It did look amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like Vash is really funny in this shit too.
Yeah, he's great.
Like that scene where like then the whole bar is fighting and then like they whip out their guns.
Yeah.
You see Vash like holding all their bullets.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, I was rolling at that scene. But,
yeah.
there's a lot of good ones. And another one of my funny moments was like when Vash is carrying the girl.
Yeah.
And I forgot what she said, but he was like, why do you? I forgot what they said, but he was like, oh, I know why, because like he took your first kiss, and you like, if you thought he was gonna say something serious,
right? Yeah.
He took your first kiss.
Yeah.
Like I was laughing hard at that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot of good funny moments, and it reminds me of the show a lot. Because I haven't like, I gave Trigun. Trigun's like in my top 5.
Yep.
And I haven't seen it in a while, but this brought back like great memories of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Vash is as funny as ever, and he's as cool as ever.
Right.
And like not many characters can pull off this like goofy, serious side. Like,
yeah, I know. It's
Vash
perfect.
does it it's perfect.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because it's his funniness is a part of his. It's not a forced gag. It's like a part of his character. Like he's funny to swallow the pain that he's feeling in the world, and he's like, I don't know, like Wolfwood says it in the original, like you have a fake smile or something, like I can tell that you're feeling a lot of pain or whatever, and that's why Vash is able to do that, because there's nuance behind it. It's like it's cool. I love that. Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking love Vash. Fucking one of my favorite characters of all time.
Yeah, man.
When Wolf pulls up, I got super excited.
Yeah. Did you expect him to be in the movie?
I kind of did and didn't. Because like before I watched it, I thought like Wolf was gonna pull up.
Right.
But while I was watching it, like it like came out of nowhere.
Right. Yeah. In the beginning of the movie, it's not very clear where it takes place in the show, because the show is really weird. Where like there's a bunch of different states in which the status quo is in, where it's like there's the beginning where he's met the insurance girls, but they don't really believe it's him, and da-da-da-da. And then there's like the second part of the first half where like they've met Wolfwood and they're all kind of a group, but they still kind of do their own thing. And then there's like the second half where they're all basically a group and like they're all together, and like the insurance girls like follow Vash and they love him and stuff. So it's very unclear where it takes place. So like when I watched the movie for the first time, and even this time I got the same feeling where it's like, is Wolfwood going to be in it? Fuck, Wolfwood might not be in the movie. And then it's like, oh my God, he's there. And yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I searched it up, and they said it's like between like episode like 11 and 13.
Let me look that up real quick. What was episode 11 and what was episode 13? Episode 11.
Yeah, this is before like the gun started pulling up.
The gun?
The fucking like knives guys when they all try to kill you.
Right. The very first knives guy was episode 12. So
okay, yeah.
So I guess it was before that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but fucking the girl was really good too.
Yeah, she was a great character.
She reminded me of the kind of like the Cowboy Bebop girl.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I feel the exact same way.
It's funny because like you watch after watching these movies, like you would wish that these characters were in the original show.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
I like when I'm about to call him Trigun. That's crazy. When Bash got shot, I already knew Wolf was gonna spin around, but like then she spun around too.
Right. Yeah, I know.
I so bad, and then she went through a little character arc where she went back, like and Bash was like, "Don't shoot the plant." Yeah, I'm gonna go fuck.
Dude,
but
yeah.
she sees like people like struggling and shit. Now she's gonna go and not just go get her revenge on Gasback, but like save the town.
Yeah.
I thought that shit was dope, and I love how I love the concept of like the plant like being like the power source for the city.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope because I remember
the show. That's a consistent thing in the show. So seeing a light bulb like fall out of a thing that never happens in the show. It's like, oh my God, it's like the largest scale thing to ever happen in Trigun. It's like larger scale than the ending of the show. It's crazy.
It's cool because I remember like when I saw it, I was getting like flashbacks from the show.
Yeah.
And I love how they like it's such like a symbol in the show.
Yes.
Like I think about it all the time. Like if I'm thinking about Trigun, like I think about like
the light bulbs.
That because it makes the city look dope as fuck.
Yeah.
Man, I love how they brought it into this story. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was dope.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot. I just watched it like this morning, so sadly I didn't. I mean, I did my homework in the sense that I watched Trigun, but I didn't do my homework in the sense that I took notes on like everything that I wanted to say. Mm-hmm. But Bro, one of the best moments is when fucking Wolfwood puts on his glasses. Dude, I know.
It's so dope because in the show, like, Vash takes his weapon to fight knives.
I know, right? It's so cool. I can't believe they like were thoughtful enough to do that. Like,
that's so thoughtful. That's so thoughtful.
I have so much to say about like from when Vash gets shot to like the ending of the movie. Like that. From that point on, like the movie was fucking amazing. I want to try to go in order. I want to try to like talk about like everything in the sequence that happens. One thing that I wanted to say is like the intro is, I think this movie is like weirdly exactly like the Cowboy Bebop movie, but with Trigun. Like the intro is like a robbery kind of, and Vash like stops it in the same way that Spike stops it, and I think that's so cool. And the intro, I think, you know, Gasback, he does kind of give off that like generic anime bad guy vibe, but I think for Trigun, for like this franchise, I think he's a very good character. I think his whole philosophy is something that after rewatching the show is not in the show. There's no character like Gasback. I love how in the beginning Gasback's like, he doesn't even get mad at Vash. He's not like a cartoon bad guy. He's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why did you just help me after all the shit that I'm doing? And Vash is like, well, wouldn't it be better if people didn't die? And he's like, if I were in your shoes, I would have killed me. But all right, bro, I hope you don't regret this, because I'm going to keep doing the shit that I do. And he says it in like a subtle, cool way where he's like, in life, you roll a die and you just cast someone else's die. Like, I hope you don't regret that decision. And that's like the running theme of the show and the movie, where it's like love and Vash's philosophy of like saving everyone, not killing anybody, that sometimes will result in the demise of other people. Like, you know, if Vash leaves Knives alive, then Knives is going to, you know, kill people and do bad things. And if Vash leaves Gasback alive, that's going to happen again. And like, it's so good because the movie starts out with like, this is it. This is the theme of Trigun. This is what the show's about. And that's what the movie's going to be about. And it's like, I hope you don't regret it. And then boom, 20 years later. And then you see like the newspaper is like, what? Oh no. And then the title, like, it shows the bullet. It's like, boom, 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 boom. Trigun, Badlands Rumble. I love the intro. It's great.
You know, this is just like fucking No Country for Old Men, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like that roll or die thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because the villain, he would like seal your fate in like a coin toss.
Yeah.
Like whether you win or not, he's gonna kill you or not. But at the end, the girl, like this, the main character's wife is like, he's like, the bad guy's like, yo, he flips the coin, he's like, call it.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's not the dice that makes the call, it's you. You make the call. And I thought about because like it's just like, it's not like Vash like really rolling the die. Like you're like, he knows what he's gonna do. You know?
Right. Yes.
I thought of that shit.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really thoughtful. Yeah, that's really smart.
And that's why I was watching No Country for Old Men analytical videos, bro.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
It's so dope because that shit gets brought up a lot.
Yeah. I love that running theme in the movie. It was very, very synonymous with the show, and it's tackling, just like the Cowboy Bebop movie, it tackles the main theme of the show while giving you a new, fresh perspective. Experience. That's the better word that the show does not give you. It Gasback and seeing Vash like go back and forth with him and getting to see the direct result of Vash letting this guy live and how it affects the female character. And it, dude, it's
her being born too.
Yeah, I know, right? Like that ending was so cool. I love when they said that. I wish I could say what I wanted to say about this show as good as how you were saying what you wanted to say about Bebop, but I just think it's fantastic.
I think it's literally, it's fantastic. I think it's just nonstop fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what I wanted from the movie.
Yeah,
because it's mostly like Vash being a clown, you know,
right?
Not in a bad way, but him being in his goofy way, and it just works so well. But when he gets his glasses back, bro.
Dude, when he comes back after he dies, they play the opening of the show. Yeah. Oh my god! But it wasn't just the song. Bro. It was a new remix of the song, and like I immediately, oh my god, bro! Like I can't believe this happened on Spotify. They released the guy who made the soundtrack for Trigun released new Trigun piano covers last night, like yesterday. I was like, oh my god, like this is so crazy. Yeah, but that's crazy. Yeah, the remix of the opening, when they played the opening,
I caught it.
Yeah, big smile on my face. Yeah, it was really good.
Wolfwood wearing his glasses, that's so dope, bro.
I don't know if can I even explain why that's amazing. Okay, no, it's Wolfwood time. I gotta talk about Wolfwood. Wolfwood to me is he's one of my favorite characters in all of anime. On my anime list on your profile, you can list your favorite anime, your favorite creators, your favorite manga, and your favorite characters. And the only two characters I have on there are Prince Canute and Wolfwood. And hopefully that list grows as time goes on. Aaron might be on that list, depending on Attack on Titan final season part 3. But Wolfwood, I got to talk about Wolfwood. So Wolfwood is a man of the cloth. He's a clergyman. He believes in God and stuff. Even with the twist at the end of the show of him like being a bad guy or whatever, he believes in God, and the mentality of the Bible is the same mentality of like Vash, where it's like, even if it's at the cost of yourself and people that you love, you cannot take away someone's life. You do not have the power to make those kind of choices. That's too big of a decision that a human being can make or whatever. The Bible has that philosophy as well. So by him having a cross, it shows that he believes in Vash's philosophy, but his actions do not reflect that at all. You know, he kills people. He will shoot people if he needs to, because he understands that he lives in a world that isn't one where you can be like Vash. Like, Vash is only Vash because he's Vash, because he's like an immortal alien thing, and he has the power and the ability to not kill people and have it like not affect him or something. But Wolfwood knows firsthand that that's not the way the world works, despite believing in God. So he agrees with Vash, but he also doesn't agree with Vash. I'm not explaining it the best way I can, but I hope you understand how fucking cool that is. Like, it's amazing. Yeah, and the way his character is in the show, where especially when he dies, like that whole final arc with Wolfwood is fantastic, because he goes to the church and he's like, I'm so sorry, God. This is my very first confessional, right? So he's now doing a godly thing despite all the bad things that he's done. He's like, I'm sorry.
And he brings up the killing and things.
Yeah, he brings up the killing, and he's like, is it right? And then he says he's like, you're right. There is a way. There always is a way. Vash is right. And then he's like, I don't want to die. I didn't want to die this way. And his hand falls, and oh my God, it's so.
And what I love before that scene is when he talks to Vash. He's like, hey, Knives is in the next city.
Right.
And Vash is like, okay. Wait, how do you know? Like, how do you know Knives?
Yeah.
I never told you about that.
Yeah.
He's already gone.
Yeah. It's so good.
That's just, I can't wait to rewatch the show. But
it's Manny.
Yeah, but it's so dope, bro. Like, it's so dope.
Also, I didn't mention this, but like his weapon, like the cross being a cross, it's like, oh, that's so cool. But then he unshackles it, and it shows like that it's filled with weapons, and it's filled with like things that he uses like to kill people. So the symbolism in that is beautiful. It's, it's both, because that's Wolfwood's philosophy is the understandable one, where it's like, and it ties into Attack on Titan too, where it's like morality, like Vash's ideology of like loving everything and like not wanting to kill people is endearing. Say again?
Love and peace.
Love and peace, right? Love and peace. But Vash cannot achieve love and peace holistically in the way that he wants to. There are times where you're going to have to, shoot somebody. There are times where you're going to have to stop someone from doing bad.
Like he does with Makoto.
Mm-hmm. And that's the way that the world works. And that's what Wolfwood understands. And like, but Wolfwood, he leans more towards like I'm just going to kill people. I'm not even going to really try. I'm just going to not involve myself in things. And Vash kind of moves him more towards the positive side. And even though like Vash is our protagonist, and it seems like love and peace is like obviously the answer, right? The whole thing with Legato kind of moves Vash like a little bit towards Wolfwood's side of the scale. So he still believes in love and peace, but now he's like, I'll do what I got to do if something needs to be done. I'm still not going to kill people, but if I got to shoot a nigga, I will cap a nigga. And I love that and that's why the ending is so powerful when he's fighting Knives, and, Wolfwood talks to him and he says like, it's right there, use it. And it's like, it's great, because the cross represents Wolfwood's character and his ideology of having to shoot people sometimes, right? And he uses it to shoot knives in that moment. And it's like Wolfwood's ideology lives on through Vash in the same way that Vash's ideology lives on through Wolfwood right when he fucking died. And in the movie, the hypothetical of what if Vash died and Wolfwood was the one to survive, Vash's ideology lived on through Wolfwood in a very tangible way that we didn't get to see in the show, where like Wolfwood puts on Vash's glasses. Wolfwood goes in there and he doesn't kill people, but he's still doing his thing and he's still like firing off, and it's reflective in not just when he goes to the fight, but when like the girl hires him for the job. Like the girl's like, you know, I want to hire you to get gas back, and he's like, oh, so you're really going after him? And she's like, oh, do you believe in Vash's ideology? And there's just a long pause, and he's like, you know, give me all the money you got now and get me breakfast. And then he gets up, he walks away, and it shows the refrigerator like all bashed up because he was like beating it up when things. So it's so good that they timed that reveal of like the bashed refrigerator right after the girl asks him if he believes in Vash's ideology. And it's so good because the answer is yes and no at the same time. And it's like, I don't know. I can't put it into words because it's not just a show. Trigun is life. Like this morality and like right and wrong and love and peace is everything that life is about. And Wolfwood is like right in the middle, like where everybody is. He's not Eren Yeager. He's not fucking Armin. He's somewhere in the middle, and he has no idea what to do. And it's beautiful watching him kind of roll the die, even though he doesn't really know whether the decision he's going to make is the right decision or not, you know? And that's what the ending talks about, where it's like, you know, it's so beautiful because it's like, you know, Vash, sometimes you roll the die and you get the right answer, or she says something like that, right? Because the decision that Vash made to not kill Gasback and him pushing through with his ideology actually worked out in the end. You know, it didn't have a bad outcome. And that is so good because that ties into the show when Vash is worried that he like made the wrong decision when he killed Legato, and when the audience is worried that Vash might make the wrong decision and kill Knives, and then he chooses not to kill Knives. It's basically telling the audience, like, you gotta do what you think is right, even if it might not work out. You gotta roll the die. You gotta get the number that you want to get, even if you think that you're not gonna get a Yahtzee or something. It's fantastic. I gotta give you a lot of credit. I'm not explaining this as well as you were explaining the Bebop thing, but I honestly think that this is on par with the Bebop movie in terms of what there is to say and just the overall quality of it. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, both movies are done expertly well.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's hard to talk about it for me. I'm speechless. I just like Bebop. I have trouble putting into words what I love about this show because, you know, Trigun, the main theme of Trigun is the same shit that Devilman is about. It's the same shit that Berserk is about. It's the same shit that Tales from Earthsea is about. Like, I didn't realize this until I rewatched it, but Trigun is... I'm not even saying this to be like... Trigun has shaped who I am as a person, and it has shaped like the way I see the world. It's given me a lot of clarity on a lot of things that I don't think a lot of people have clarity on. I think a lot of people don't know how to love. And I don't know. Trigun kind of taught me how to in a I know that's gay, but it's good. I love Trigun. This is
one of the best.
It really is one of the best. You know, love is everything that life is about. Like, this is the reason why we live, kind of thing. This is the reason why we're here. And Trigun is about love and peace, and it's beautiful that it's about that. And I think Trigun the show, with all of its faults, like the animation not being amazing, the voice acting being kind of iffy, it's the first show where like there are things that I do not like about it, where it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It does not detract from the experience at all. It's so rare that a show can do things that are quote unquote bad and have it like not matter at all.
Yeah.
I'm kind of mad that I can't explain this as well as I want to, because I feel like Trigun is not a show that like is as loved as like Bebop, but it really should be, at least to me.
To me as well.
I think it's on par with those things. I genuinely think it's like one of the best shows ever made.
Yeah. Yeah. On my list, even though I gave both shows 10 out of 10, like Trigun has an edge for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it has an edge for me too. I just have a really personal connection with it. I'm so happy I rewatched it. I kind of forgot a lot of it. Next up for me on my rewatch list is Shampoo. I'm very excited to rewatch Shampoo. And I'm not saying this, I want to make it clear that this is not like a brag or anything, but I believe, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, because I might be wrong. I believe that I was the first one out of our social group to watch Trigun. And I believe I told you, and then you told David, and then we were like the three only.
Did you?
I
remember telling David, but
I remember being there when you told David. Yeah.
Did you tell me?
I don't know. Maybe I didn't. But I just remember I watched the show because I saw Watch Mojo clips and I saw like it on Hulu, and I was like, oh, I'll watch this.
I think you probably seen it before me, but remember that list I was talking about that Glass Reflection made?
Oh, it was on that?
Yeah, it was like the third. It was like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun.
Really? Okay, never mind that.
I think that's how I got it.
Okay.
But you definitely watched it before me.
Yeah, I love that show. It's really shaped my character, and it's really made me think about my life in like the past like 4 years when I watched Trigun, because like I was on my Vash type shit, and I kind of forgot the show because I watched it in high school. So like, I don't know, when one bad thing happened to me, I kind of just like gave up and I turned into like Spike, and I just was like, fuck it. But I don't know, the show basically, the message of Trigun is like, yeah, things aren't always going to work out. You're going to roll the wrong dice sometimes, but still strive for love and peace regardless. You know, do the things that, even if everybody tells you not to do them, do what you think is right. Don't kill your brother.
Yeah. And I love Legato is so well done too, because Legato won, like he won at the end.
Yeah.
And it's like like Knives set him up for like, yo,
yeah,
you're gonna have to break that love and peace shit, bro.
Yeah.
And then Legato like succeeded, and he fucking died with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
It was like, that scene is incredible, like
it's so good. Cause
like while Millie and Meryl like over there again, like about to get killed, Legato's talking his shit.
Yeah, Legato.
So, like, Nash is like freaking out. He's thinking about like the girl he
Rem.
Yeah, he's thinking about Rem, Meryl, like he's thinking about everything, and then,
right.
Like, he pulls the trigger.
Yeah.
And like Legato like sees him break, and then like Legato just closes his eyes and smiles.
Yeah.
Like, this dude fucking won.
Yeah, it's
that scene was amazing. Like second half Trigun was like crazy.
Yeah, it really is. Like it's insane how this ties into so many things that we're watching. Like it's interesting. Like Trigun kind of has the same story as Cowboy Bebop, but it's about something completely different.
Right.
It's really interesting how it came out the same year as Cowboy Bebop 2, which is very interesting.
They're both a Western.
They're both a Western. They're both about someone having to face their past. Yeah.
These cowboy hats.
Cowboy hats. But Trigun, despite coming out the same year as Bebop and being a Western and having like a similar story and a similar vibe, kind of, the theme, the characters, the music, the setting, it's all completely different. It manages to be unique despite being very similar to Bebop. You know, it's like sometimes, and I was just saying this with Terror in Resonance, but sometimes when I watch something, if it's too much like another thing, I'll be like, okay, guess I'm just watching the same thing, but like slightly worse or like not as good, right? But Trigun manages to stand out despite that, which is you got to owe a lot of credit to it. We're talking about the show more than we're talking about the movie, but I mean the movie's great. I'm struggling to say a lot. One thing that I want to say is that before Gasback attacks the city, it takes like half the movie. It takes until like the halfway mark for that to happen, and it still manages to be engaging up until that point. It's not like you're getting meaningless, fruitless exposition. It's like the movie's being fun and it's being like funny while simultaneously being fan servicey and giving you the necessary information that you need, while also being thoughtful because you get to see more of Gasback's ideology. You get to see more of Wolfwood's ideology in these new scenarios because he's working for Gasback. You get to see Vash again, and Gasback's honestly like a really good character. I really like him. Like, there's no one like him in the show, because there's a part where he's like, the thrill of robbing, the thrill of taking, that's what I live for. And that's Knives' ideology, where it's like, you know, you can't give all the time. You can't give people handouts, Vash. That's not how the world works. You know, the spider has to kill the butterfly, and you know, if I get to choose, I'm gonna be the spider in those situations. And that's what Gasback believes. And Gasback's like, I'm gonna enjoy being the spider, you know. And it's so good in contrast to Vash. It's so good. And it's so good because, like, at the end of the movie, Vash's positivity rubs off on him. Vash's love and peace rubs off on him because he remembers his wife. And his daughter was like, you know, all those robbers took from my mom the same way you take from everybody else. And, you know, he wants to talk all that shit about taking from other people. And then when someone takes from him, it hurts him. So, I don't know. The fact that Vash didn't take his life, it makes him think. Like, there's that shot of him in the cell and he's just, like, looking up. And you can tell that he had an impact. Do you remember that scene in the show where Vash like destroyed the city again with like his alien arm, and like it's playing on like the news broadcast, like Vash the Stampede destroying another city, the humanoid typhoon, and it shows everyone that he's met up until that point in the show like listening to the radio and being like, no way, bro, no way, not after my experience. Like one that I really resonate with is the I don't know if you remember it, but there's like a whole arc where there's like a buff, kind of like Gasback, like buff cowboy character that's like super cartoonishly evil and like super bad, but it shows him like at the end too, because even though he was like the worst, most evil character that Vash came in contact with, he saved the ship at the end of his arc. So like it shows that Vash like rubbed off on him too, and even he was listening to the thing because he was like, fuck. And it just shows like love and peace, man. Like it matters to everybody. Everyone feels it. Yeah, I'm sorry that I can't talk about it in a better way, but you know, that's the best I got. That's the best way I can explain it. It's too hard. It's too good. I love this movie so much.
Yeah, it is really good.
Yeah, I
love the movie.
I love the movie too.
I'm so happy we watched these movies.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we do this.
I'm happy they hold up.
Yeah, I'm happy that, you know, I get to do this with you and I get to talk about it. If I didn't do this, I might have never rewatched Trigun, you know? I don't know. I don't want to get sappy. A lot of the movies that we talk about and a lot of the things that we discuss are very enlightening. They're very psychologically stimulating. They make me think about things. I went through an experience recently where, like, if I didn't watch Memento or like Fooly Cooly or Bebop, it probably would have turned out really bad. like if I didn't have the knowledge that those movies and these discussions gave me, I probably would have done something that I regret. And Trigun is another one of those things where like this changes my life. It makes me see things differently. It's going to affect the way that I tackle things in the future. in the same way that those other movies did. Like, yeah, I didn't mention that, but my life has been Bebop, Fooly Cooly, and Memento, like all in these past 2 weeks. Like crazy shit's been happening to me, and I'm just like, oh my god. And I'm so happy that I do this, and I'm so happy that we watched this movie. It's good.
Memento is great.
Yeah. These movies are so good.
Memento's top 5.
Yeah, it really is. Memento, I think I'm gonna get a tattoo. Memento inspired me to get a tattoo.
Really? You know what I was thinking about getting a tattoo of? I was thinking about getting like the JoJo arrow. I think I told you before.
You told me you told me you were gonna get a Part 4 tattoo, and I thought it was gonna be like Love and Peace or something along those lines because of the heart that Josuke and the peace symbol that he has. But you're gonna get the arrow on your arm.
Yeah.
That would be a dope tattoo.
The arrows, like, huh?
That would be a dope tattoo. Like you're gonna get like the design as if it's like sticking out of your arm or something, or sticking into it.
I don't know, something like it, because I love the arrows. Like,
yeah, it's so good.
Like the arrows on me, because I have the strongest will. You know.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah. I've honestly been like anti like tattoo because I felt like I was gonna regret it, or like maybe my mind would change. But Memento, I don't want to get too off topic of Trigun, but the whole point of Memento is that there are some things that you're going to want to remember that will impact your life regardless of whether you change your mind about it or something. And to have that on your body, like inscripted in ink, is kind of like immortalizing that feeling or that thought. And I want to do that about things that happen in my life. And I would like to get tattoos of shows, honestly. I would love a Trigun tattoo.
Yeah, because like, even like people would even get it.
Yeah.
Like people like would even know like this is from like JoJo.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It say I got it and someone came up to me and said, "Yo, is that the JoJo thing?"
Yeah.
I'll go crazy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's a part of you.
My boy at work was talking about he wants to get like the hermit purple thing around like his whole forearm.
Yeah, that's so cool. Hermit
purple. That's
fire. Oh, that's so
he says that's his favorite like power or ability to show.
Yeah. The JoJo stands have a lot of nuance behind them because of the tarot cards, but that's a whole video in and of itself, like the whole research behind them. But yeah. Trigun Badlands Rumble is good. What else is there to say?
He's gonna get a good 9 from me. The thing is, I got it. I got the Cowboy Bebop slightly ahead of this one though.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like a 0.2 or 0.1.
Gotcha.
There's not much, but for me, like the Cowboy Bebop movie was like insane.
Right.
This one is too, but like I said, it's like a 0.1, 0.2 difference. So like nothing like major. But.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So another thing that I was thinking about a lot this week is the question that you asked me at the end of the last episode, where like, if a movie is a smaller piece to a larger whole, can it be capable of like a 10 on my scale? I thought about it so much. I thought about it like every single day. I feel like I'm going to have trouble wording what I want to say, but I do have an answer that I kind of answered already, but I'll reiterate / expand on my answer that I gave for that in relation to the Trigun movie. I said last episode that like a movie being a smaller piece to like a larger whole, like the masterpiece, like painting or whatever, it's a piece of that painting, and the painting is like the masterpiece, and like this is just kind of like a little memento like thing to kind of make you remember the masterpiece like painting. I feel that way about Cowboy Bebop because Cowboy Bebop is really good because of its themes and because of its characters and because of its execution and its vibe, but it's really good because of how it executes its story over the course of its 26 episodes. I feel like Cowboy Bebop is as good as it is because of its complete narrative and how it executes that complete narrative. So when you give me a Cowboy Bebop movie that doesn't have the full context of that story, and it just has the themes, and it just has the characters, and it just has the vibes, I'm not going to value it as much as the masterpiece show. I obviously am going to still value it a lot in my heart, and it's still going to mean a lot to me. But when I do my ratings, I try to have them reflect my quote unquote objective perspective on like what is good and why I value certain things. So if I love the Cowboy Bebop show for X, Y, and Z, and I give it a 10 because of that, even if the movie is amazing to me and I love it, if it doesn't have the Y in the XYZ, I have to have my rating reflect that. And I feel the exact same way about Trigun. I feel like Trigun, the movie, is fantastic, but it's not the full story. It's not the show. It doesn't have the immaculate execution of the episodic format that the show has. And that's because it's the Trigun movie, and it can't. Trigun and Bebop are smaller pieces to a larger whole that is unlike other things. Like Bebop and Trigun, their movies are smaller pieces to shows that you can't tell anything after or anything before. You can't do a sequel to Bebop, and you can't do a sequel to Trigun. And if you want to make a movie, you can't have the movie be like its own thing where it's not talking about the themes of the show. The whole point of Trigun and the whole point of Bebop are the themes. It is the characters. So you can't do a fillery Dragon Ball, My Hero kind of thing with that. So to expand on the question and to, expand on everything that I've been saying, these movies cannot be better than what they are because they have to be what they are. Trigun has to be about love and peace. Cowboy Bebop has to be about living in a dream and Spike's character and da-da-da-da-da. And they do that the best way that I feel like those movies can possibly do that. So to put it simply, on my objective scale, these movies are the highest that they possibly can be. And there are other movies that are tie-ins to anime that are not smaller pieces to a larger whole, like the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. I feel like that movie is very independent, and it can kind of do its own thing despite being a part of Dragon Ball. Another example, probably the biggest example of like a movie that's close to a 10 that's like a tie-in to another anime is Ghost in the Shell. I think the Ghost in the Shell movie is better than the show. But the reason why I think it's better than the show is because it has nothing to do with the show. It has the same characters, takes place in the same universe, but it's its own thing, and it's doing like something completely different than what the show is doing. The theme is different, the vibe is different, the presentation is completely different. Like, it's basically what I'm trying to say is Dragon Ball Super Broly, Ghost in the Shell, and all other movies like that, they are not smaller pieces to a larger whole. They're not a tiny piece of a large painting, even though they are a movie that connects to a large TV show. It's not the same as Bebop. It's not the same as Trigun. It's very unique with these movies, and that's why they can't elevate to that degree, because they're movies that are meant to remind you of the masterpiece shows. That's the whole point. But Ghost in the Shell and Dragon Ball Super Broly aren't inherently about that, which is why those movies kind of are perceived differently. And you asked me, is this movie capable of being a 10? Like, was there anything wrong with it? And I think you asked me that because the way I worded it implied that the movie did something wrong. The movie didn't do anything wrong. The movie was perfect at what it was trying to be, but what it was trying to be is just not what the show was, Like, it's sometimes the highest that something can aim for, even if something is perfect at what it's being, it will not be a 10 because, I think Princess Mononoke and Nausicaa are perfect movies, but they're 8s because I don't consider them the best movies ever made. I like Cowboy Bebop more, and Cowboy Bebop is more significant to me, and that's why I do my ratings the way that I do them, because I want to draw that distinction. Even though I love Princess and Nausicaa as much as Bebop, I feel like Bebop is better in a way that I want to acknowledge through my ratings. And at the end of the day, that kind of doesn't matter, because objectivity is ultimately subjective, and my perspective on Bebop being better than the movie and the Princess Mononoke not being good as Bebop, art is not invalidated by my objective take on what's good and what's bad and because even though I give something a 4 or a 6, I still love it deeply. There are movies that are 6s out of 10s that are on my favorite movies of all time list because I still love them despite them having a lot of issues and despite them not being great, because the objective things that art does, good and bad,
are not the deciding factors that
quantify its value. And there are things that I've said on this podcast that contradict that. Sometimes I get a little bit in over my own head and I get cocky and I'm like, this shit is ass and da-da-da-da-da. But basically what I want to say is that, regardless of the quality of something, it doesn't invalidate the emotion that you derive from it. And the Cowboy Bebop movie still means a lot to me despite being a 7 out of 10 that's closer to an 8. And the Trigun movie still means a lot to me despite being an 8 to not a 10. And, honestly, when I talk about movies, the number rating is in parentheses. The opinion that I have on the movies objectively is unnecessary when it comes to what it means to me personally. With all that said, I love Cowboy Bebop the movie. I love Trigun the movie. I love Bebop the show. I love Trigun the show. Trigun and Bebop the show are 10s, and Cowboy Bebop the movie is a 7, and Trigun Badlands Rumble is an 8. And at the end of the day, that doesn't change how I feel about it, and that doesn't invalidate the love that anybody has for it, because my objective rating at the end of the day is so inconsequential in the grand scheme of what this show means and the value that it has. And that goes for other things that aren't even in like the 7 range, It goes for Terror and Resonance too. Like, I derived value from that show despite it being, there were a lot of things I didn't like, but there are still things that are going to stick with me from it. I didn't explain that the best way I could. Once again, I'm anxious that I'm not like wording these the best, but that's the best way I could possibly word it. It was a really complicated question that I might have not answered as well as I could have, but I did the best I could. That is my answer. Listen back to it if you want, or ask me questions right now if you want.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Okay. And everything I just said in regards to that also applies to the Fist of the North Star movie, which I recommended on the last episode, and I've never seen it. You've never seen it. You're very new when it comes to Fist of the North Star, so let's talk about that. Being that you are not familiar with FOTNS, tell me what you thought about it before I go into it.
I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting like sick of these, not sick, but
fatigued
by these like 80s movies.
Yeah. What was the one that we watched before this? Did we?
Wicked City and Ninja Scroll.
Yeah, it definitely has the same energy as that, where it's just kind of like there's not a lot of substance. It's kind of all over the place. It doesn't have like a great structure. There's something there, but it's not really there because the execution is like kind of wrong.
Yeah. I know for the time it was probably just spectacular, but
I don't even know if it was. I don't know.
I think it was.
You think so? I think that the context of this movie is that if you are a fan of the show and you just want to see the iconic fights throughout the entire tenure of the show, that's what the movie is for. Because the movie is a compilation of 72 chapters of the story squished together into an hour and a half. They literally rearranged some sequences in the narrative to kind of fit like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So you have all of these bad guys and all of these characters from like 3 different arcs that are kind of squished together in this like weird fan-made feeling kind of movie. I feel like it's a mess to the degree that, as someone who has seen a little bit of the show, I feel like even someone who likes the show would feel like it's a little messy. But, they don't just take the stuff from the show. They like reanimated a little bit of it to like be like really good. So I feel like the entire point is like, look at these moments on the big screen. Look at these moments with like a high budget. Look at these fight scenes in like really good quality. I feel like that's the entire thing. I was under the impression that this movie was going to be a compilation of just the first arc. And I was like, oh, this is going to be perfect to show Manny because he's never seen Fist of the North Star. And I love the first season of Fist of the North Star, but it's not a compilation of that. It's a compilation of the first 3 arcs, and it's a mess. It's like all over the place, and it's still Fist of the North Star, right? So it's still got like some of the great moments, and they give you enough context to like those moments, but the structure of the movie and like how it switches from, all right, let's give them the necessary context, to, okay, let's show them this important key moment in the story. They don't weave together in this movie format very well. There are things that have significance in the show that get focus in the show when they are important, and then they move on to the next thing. But this movie is doing like 3 things at the same time. Like, the whole point of the show is that Kenshiro is trying to save his girlfriend. And in the first season of the show, Kenshiro is going after Shin, like the Dio blonde hair guy. He's going after him to get his girlfriend back. And at the end of the first season, he defeats Shin, and he realizes that his girlfriend's not there anymore, so he continues to search for her. And this movie divvies attention from that to show you Rao, like the bad guy at the end, and like the guy with the white hair and the green outfit, like Kenshiro's partner, that guy, and Kenshiro's brother. Like, that stuff is not in the first season of the show. They introduce all that stuff later. So like, the focus is no longer on the thing that we care about like it was in the original manga and the show. Now it's on these other things that are like squished together. And if you have the context of the show and you get it, you can kind of give it a pass. But if you're going into this blind without the context, it's probably gonna suck. It's probably not gonna be very fun. But as someone who has the context, I can kind of accept it a little bit, but I have to acknowledge that it's still kind of stupid that they structured it that way, because it's, I don't know, the show was structured the way it was because that's how it works. You know, you can't restructure it. You can't like change it. I felt immediately bad after I watched it because I love Fist of the North Star, and I kind of I recommended this purely to introduce you to it. And this is a very not great way to start out your perception of the story. The show is good, and I would still recommend the show, and I hope the movie hasn't turned you off too much from it. But you said it was okay, so maybe there were some things that you liked, and there were some things that I liked despite all my complaints.
I don't even know.
I know. It's hard to remember. I don't blame you. It's all over the place. I kind of like, I was going into this call like, how should I structure it? Because I really don't want to talk about Fist of the North Star. Because not even as much as I like it, like I don't have much to say about this movie. I mean, I do have a lot to say, but not anything that I'm passionate about, especially given that you don't have the context of the manga or the original story. It's kind of not really worth talking about, low key. I feel like it's kind of a bastardization of like the original story, and you should just watch the original show, or you should read the manga. I know that there's a lot that I have to say, but I don't think there's a lot that I have to say that you will derive value from, given that you haven't seen the show. Basically, my interpretation is like how it lives up and how moments still work despite not having the structure that the show has, because those moments are just so strong regardless, while simultaneously not having the appeal of the show because of its structure. And like, I could go into so much more detail about it, like the semantics, but I don't even know if it's really worth it, and I don't really know if I have a lot to say about it. I thought it was well animated. I thought it was very pretty for what it was. And there are a lot of iconic Fist of the North Star fights in this movie that you'll probably enjoy if you have the context of the show. But if you don't, then it probably is just a bunch of nonsense for like an hour and 50 minutes. Don't let this ruin your perception of the show. Watch the show. It's still good. That's what I have to say. We don't, to be honest, I won't drag this out. We don't have to talk about it. There's nothing to say. Yeah. 5 out of 10. Whatever. Hopefully we'll watch something better in the future. I'll pick a good movie, I promise.
It's better than Wicked City, but worse than Ninja Scroll, in my opinion.
Is it better than Wicked City? Wicked City, it's in the same ballpark as Wicked City. I don't know if it's better than Wicked City. It's just such an inconsistent experience for me. It's so all over the place. It's like 5 minutes of exposition, then 5 minutes of a really good moment, back to back for like an hour and 50 minutes. But I'm glad you liked it more than Wicked City. But
not hard to do that.
Yeah. I think it's like on par with Wicked City for me. I think it's like in the same ballpark. It's like it's a mess of a movie that I do connect with emotionally. I love the ending. I love the theme with like the flower and like hope and stuff. I thought there were some really powerful moments. Like when the blind girl like touches the flower, she's like, "Oh my god, it's a flower." There were some good parts. I liked it. I wanted to ask you, did you get like Fist of the North Star is like a heavy inspiration to like JoJo. Did you get any like JoJo vibes while watching it? Yeah.
Ray looks like Polnareff.
Yeah, I know, right? It's really nice. I think I really want you to watch Fist of the North Star, or like at least give it a chance. He does. I know. Shin looks exactly like Dio. Kenshiro looks exactly like Jonathan Joestar. I love that DNA. Yeah, Shin is a good character. The movie does not do him as well. The way Shin dies in the show is different than how they execute it in the movie. And my positive interpretation of Fist of the North Star is because of the ending of the first season. Like the ending of season 1 when Shin dies is really good. Yeah, bro. Watch the show or read the manga one of these days. It's historical, you know? It's the context is important. And it's still unique. Like it honestly stands out. It's not like it stands out amongst the crowd of shonen. It still kind of stands on its own two legs despite being like an oldie, despite being a classic. But yeah, don't have a lot to say about this movie. That's it. 5 out of 10. And I imagine you give it the same score.
Yeah.
All right. So that was a long call.
It was really short. Short one.
I guess it was. I guess we only went for 2 hours. Yeah. These movies kind of speak for themselves, except for Terror in Resonance. That shit needed a lot of discussion, but
yeah.
I am also tired of these 80s anime and like these like mid things that we've been watching. So I have some things lined up that are different if I get to pick the 2 movies or whatever, if we're still doing that.
Yeah, I got one.
The show?
One anime.
Mm-hmm.
Link Click.
The Chinese one that you talked about? Okay. Let's watch that. I got two things.
Look at this cover art.
I know. It does look cool.
It's dope.
It is dope. So the new Wit Studio movie called Bubble is coming out April 28th. There'll be a movie coming out on Netflix directed by Tetsuya Araki, who did Attack on Titan and Death Note and Kabaneri, and it's animated by Wit Studio, so it's going to look like Attack on Titan. I don't know if you've seen the trailer. Honestly, the story looks kind of like whatever, but it's going to have music from the guy that did Promare and Attack on Titan, and it has like the whole Attack on Titan gang. So I want to watch it just because I'm kind of a fan of Wit Studio. Like I love what they do, and I'll watch anything just because it's just for the animation, honestly. But right. Do you want to pick that movie, which might not be amazing? And do you want to talk about that, or do you want to pick 2 other things?
You can watch that.
Okay, so let's watch Bubble. And I have 2 lined up, but I'm going to pick the one that I think is more fun. And I'm also kind of taking a risk with this one.
Oh, you know what I was thinking about earlier? When you was talking about like characters you would have on your Mal list or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought of Isaac from Castlevania.
Yeah, too bad it's not on fucking my anime list because they don't consider. No, they don't consider it an anime because it wasn't made in Japan. That's how they operate. Fucking Avatar: Last Airbender's not on my anime list. Fucking, you know. But whatever. In my opinion, it might as well be a fucking anime. It looks exactly the same.
It counts.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm taking another risk with this one, Manny. I've never seen this show. I honestly don't know anything about it, but it has very high ratings on IMDb. From what I've heard, a lot of people speak positively of this show. A lot of people say that it's a try-hard show, and it's been on my watch list for a long time, and it's something that I want you to check out. It's a Cartoon Network show called Over the Garden Wall, and it's on HBO Max. Have you ever heard of this before?
Nah.
Well, each episode is only 10 minutes, and there's only 10 episodes, or 11 episodes. So the runtime is about 109 minutes, like, in all. So it's shorter than a movie. It's a show, but it's not something that has a second season. It's like a one-done type of deal. And that's going to be my recommendation for next episode. And I hope it's good. A lot of people speak very highly of it, and that's why I'm watching it, because it's one of those shows that no one talks about because no one wants to spoil it. So just to get you primed for it, I don't know. I'm going to take a lot of notes because it seems like one of those kind of things. So HBO Max, Over the Garden Wall. Something new, something different. We're going to watch something that's not an anime.
Okay. All right.
Oh, what was the show again? Link Click?
Link Click.
It only has 1,500 reviews on IMDb. That's very interesting. It's a sleeper. Is it a sleeper hit or a sleeper flop? We'll see.
I think I call sleeper hit.
All right. Regardless, I'll be happy to watch it because I'll be looking forward to talking about it.
Right.
It's got very high ratings.
It does.
According to IMDb, it's not technically over. It might get a second season or something.
This is special.
There's a special. Interesting.
Yeah, there's like an OVA. I'm gonna watch.
You gonna watch that too?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Those are the three. Looking forward to the next episode. Let me see. Is there anything to talk about? Did you see the trailer for the new Makoto Shinkai movie?
Nope.
No?
Oh, actually, yeah. Yeah, I did see this.
You did see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You excited? The girl is wearing the same ribbon that like the girl from Your Name wears. So it's very like, I don't know. I mean, they're already kind of a shared universe. I wonder if this is going to be like that. I wonder if it's going to be like the last film in the Makoto Shinkai verse.
It's definitely gonna be in the same universe. As long as it's as good as Weathering with You.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Makoto Shinkai. Sometimes he's a dummy and he has a dumb plot hole, but sometimes he makes great movie like Weathering with You. I would love to watch his other movies. I'd love to watch like 5 centimeters per second and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that one for a while.
We'll watch it eventually. The Blu-rays, they're all getting Blu-rays now, so that'll be easier for me to watch. I'll buy them when they come out. But yeah, that's the only anime news related thing. But yeah, that's really all I got. There was like a teaser for Demon Slayer season 3, but it barely showed you anything.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking about reading Demon Slayer.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Yeah.
If you read it, I'll read it.
Cause like I know I got spoiled on the ending.
Yeah. If you read it, then I'll read it. We can talk about it if you read it.
I'll let you know if I do it.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of reading, have you continued that book? Did you stop reading it or something?
I haven't finished it yet. I need to get back on it.
Yeah.
But I took, no matter how long I take on reading it, I took notes.
Oh,
So
wow. That's so cool.
I know what is going on.
That's great. That's really good. Oh, wow. That note is like very close to the last page. Are you almost done?
No. It was like the second chapter.
Oh, okay.
It's here, so there's a lot left.
Gotcha.
It's not a long book.
Mm-hmm.
160 pages.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I was smart and cool and I had the like resilience to like sit down and read a book, but I can't.
It was different.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like I needed to take notes.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Maybe I'll pick up that book, or maybe just the Junji Ito adaptation, because that was very cool to me. Have you ever read a manga before?
No.
That's really interesting. You know, the first manga I read was Naruto because I needed to see the ending before Storm came out. That's interesting. Yeah, I wanted to know what your thoughts on manga were, because it seems like something that you never talk about.
Yeah, I never.
My dog is going ham. Give me 1 second. Yeah, what were your thoughts on mangaka?
I never felt the need to read manga until like recently.
Yeah.
Because now, like, I want to read Promised Neverland. I want to read Berserk.
Wow. Yeah, dude. Berserk. I was very surprised when you said it jokingly, but like, you got to get me all the Berserk volumes, because I didn't think you liked manga. I didn't think you'd want to read it because you haven't read it up until now.
Yeah.
I used to I feel like every anime fan, not every single one, but a lot of anime people have a phase where they're like, I'm never going to read a manga. It's not the same as watching an anime. And then they like read one manga and they're like, oh, actually, this isn't that bad. And then they become manga fans just like they become anime fans. And I kind of had that phase in high school when I had to read One Piece because I wasn't going to watch it. Yeah, I love manga. I'll read manga over the shows sometimes. A lot of manga is better than the anime. Berserk is one of those manga. I haven't seen the 1997 one actually, so I'm not judging it on that, but at least compared to the movies and the new one.
That shit has an amazing opening.
Yeah. Tell me why. Is that the one? Or
Yeah.
yeah.
Why?
Tell me why. Tell me what you want. Don't know why. Yeah, I've actually never seen the 97 Berserk anime. I read the manga for Berserk, but I've never watched the show.
I never watched that either.
You never watched the 97 anime?
No.
Oh, so what's your Berserk rating on the movies?
The movies, but it's also like
Just
because
what you hear about it?
I've watched those videos of someone who like read the manga to me.
Okay. Yeah, that counts.
It's kind of like based off that. Like I watched like a 4-hour video, but I haven't seen the whole thing. There's like a 4-hour video where the dude just like reads the whole thing.
Yeah.
Not reads it, but like summarizes it.
Summarizes it.
And like,
yeah.
So like I watched the movies and then like I'd watch all the analytical shit and then I watched a dude like read the shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay to draw an opinion on a show like that way.
Eventually, I'm gonna read it. So.
Yeah, especially if you haven't watched the 97 anime. A lot of people say that the original 97 anime is like pretty great. I haven't seen it, but I don't know. Maybe we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eyepatch Wolf just made like a 2-hour video on Berserk. I didn't watch it though.
I watched it. Like I watched like some of it. Really good.
I'm not gonna watch it because I want to reread Berserk before I see anybody else's like interpretation of it. I want to draw my own opinion and draw my own meaning from it. I don't know. I'm kind of weird when it comes to Berserk. I feel like Berserk is a series that like putting it into words, it's something that I don't know if you can really put it into words and deliver the impact of the series in like a verbal video essay format. I don't know if that's even possible. I've thought about making a video and then I've thought like, why would I? Like there's nothing I can say that would elevate the context of the story. You know, sometimes when you make a video on something, sometimes your perception of the piece of media becomes the video and it becomes just what that person said in the video rather than the piece of media itself and what you derived from it. And that's okay. But I would like to derive my own value before I watch a video and know how I feel about it before I watch what someone else thinks. So
well, with that video, like he was talking about all the things surrounding it.
Oh, really?
Like he was talking about like
controversy.
No, like he was saying like what Kentaro was like inspired by.
What did he talk about? Fist of North Star?
He's saying like he watched like he read like Rose of Versailles,
really?
Fist of North Star, and other like these other two mangas.
Yeah. And
then he was talking about how those impacted what happens in Berserk.
Did he talk about Devilman?
I don't remember.
Okay. That's interesting.
Probably.
A lot of people say that Devilman is a big inspiration on Berserk, and having seen the show Devilman Crybaby and watching Berserk, I can see the DNA.
All right.
A lot of blonde, blue-eyed bad guys. Fist of the North Star.
Yeah.
That's I think that's what you're saying. That's where he got his Griffith's design from Rose
Bro,
Versailles.
his Griffith design is better than Dio, Rio from Devilman, better than Shin. Like Griffith is like, because the whole idea is that they look pretty, but they're like evil under the core. And Griffith is like the perfect encapsulation of that because he's like an angel, like visually, you know?
Yeah.
I love Berserk. I have all the volumes. I have all those big Chungus like Bible textbooks. There are some new ones coming out. I don't have those, but they take up so much space. But I need them. I need it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a Berserk tattoo. That's another tattoo I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get a Berserk one. Yeah, definitely. I have to. It means too much to me. That's like in the same vein as Trigun.
Well, Ali.
All right.
Good episode.
Yeah, good episode. We talked about a funny, shitty show, and one of the best movies. Thank you, as always. I guess we're signing off. Alrighty, Manny. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you for doing this with me.
Appreciate you too, bro.
Alrighty. I'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
All right, bro. See ya.
See ya.